Holy Batman, designing revolutionary products. From the big screen to box stores, Wes Cross is creating revolutionary mechanical creations that will blow your mind. Hello, everyone. My name is Tessa, and I am the Director of Marketing at IdeaPros. And I have Wes Cross with me today. I'm so excited. If you guys saw, this is going to be awesome. So Wes is a mechanical engineer and product developer, a new one at our IdeaPros team. So welcome, Wes.
How you doing, Tessa? It's good to be here. Thank you.
I'm super like starstruck right now because Wes he worked on the Batmobile from the most recent Ben Affleck movie, right? You actually designed it. So I am so flabbergasted. Like, I love all of these superhero movies. I've never met anyone who actually designed anything for a big movie like that. So we're going to talk with Wes and find out a little bit of his backstory. Obviously, you have so many products and, creations that you've done. We're going to talk a little bit about your backstory, and then we're also going to talk about what it takes to get those products from idea to a real item that you can see, touch, feel, and then obviously getting it into production as well. So thank you guys all so much for popping in with us. #live. I know a lot of you are already hashtagging. Hey, Shelly, Jason, Yadira, great to have you, Jess, Phil. Thank you guys all so much for being here. I'm so excited. So Wes, what have you done in the past? Because I know Batmobile is just one of many.
It feels like a long time ago, too. The Batmobile was probably 6 or 7 years ago we built it. I mean, we built it before they had even chose the actors to be Batman. So before Ben Affleck was even selected as the actor, we were making the vehicle. So it's fun that now I can talk about it and we're allowed to do all that stuff.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's the Batman is important, but I think the Batmobile is like half of the movie to me. But there's other shows too, like Transformers and other things that you've created too, right?
Yes. So I've worked on Transformers, the movie series, some of the projects there. My first day, I actually backed into the Bumblebee vehicle and I put a huge dent in the side of it.
You're like, that was me.
The very first day, I had to go to Dennis McCarthy, the guy who was in charge of all the vehicle and production, and tail between my legs and say, Dennis, I might have put a dent in one of the cars outside. He said, well, which one? I said, the Bumblebee car. He said, it's all right, Wes. Don't worry about it.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's like even Transformers. Like I have just anything mechanical. In fact, after Transformers, I actually wanted all the cars to transform near me just because I love the movie so much. But obviously that's a lot. There's so much that goes into building any one of these. So how long did it take to do the Batmobile?
Surprisingly, not very long. There are quite a few documentaries on previous Batmobiles. And most of them can't actually do most of the tricks that they want the vehicles to do. Ours, we managed to build in about 4 or 5 months.
Whoa.
From zero to completion. And from that, it went so smoothly that we made another one.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you made another one, like you had to have a stunt double?
No, we built another vehicle. We have two.
Oh, you have two different ones.
One was, it made sense for the film because the film would be filmed in different locations at the same time.
Oh, so gotcha.
We have two vehicles in both locations. And then it penciled out well for the studio because when they went on tour for the movie promo, the vehicles could go 2 locations.
Smart. Oh my gosh.
You getting the vehicles around though, because a fun fact, it's about 20 feet long by 10 feet wide. And with the wheels on it, it's too big to fit inside of the back of a semi. So we put these funny tires and wheels on it so that it can actually fit inside of a semi so nobody knows what we're moving around.
I gotcha. So you had to trade those out. And then when you got on set, you had to put the other ones on.
Yeah, I think there's probably pictures floating around of me giving the old thumbs up from a Batmobile. It's either got no wheels or it's got like some rims you might see on like a Fast and Furious car.
Oh my gosh. Well, I am going to try to show some of the pictures. If for some reason my share screen does not work, then we will put, actually, you know what? We may not be able to. We might have to go through. I'm going to keep trying while you're talking. But you've also done a lot of products. So obviously you had lots and lots of movie creations. So big screen. Now, what kinds of things have you gotten? What kinds of products have you worked on?
As far as products, I've done quite a few in the consumer product field. Things as simple as cups for 7-Eleven, skateboard things, skateboard parts, trucks,
Accessories.
like pushable skateboards for kids, lots of kids products. I wish I had the list here with me. I'm trying to think of everything. There's so many different things that are consumer products that are actually have been out and for sale in the market that had launched products that have done well before I even joined IdeaPros. I also started my own company as well, and we sell over 160 different products. And that might be one of the biggest things, creating those products and then following through and selling them as a business is a tricky thing for an inventor. So it's very cool to be a part of this community.
Well, and you mentioned inventor, so you have a number of patents in your name as well, right? So you've gone through patenting processes for a lot of products.
I have indeed. I have somewhere between 15 and 18 issued patents, and probably another 3 to 5 pending currently, and I've probably written 30 or 40 patents total myself. So I'm pretty experienced in the patent world as far as all the legal things that go along with it and all the details you need to know in order to get through the process. I mean, I did my first one by myself, reading as many books as I can find at the Barnes & Noble back when bookstores existed.
Way back then. No, trust me, there were bookstores, guys.
Meanwhile, I'm working on Fast and Furious and Tron and all these other cool movies, but then I'm staying up late at night researching how to write a patent,
Yeah, you mentioned some of those movies. So, I mean, Transformers, Batman. What were the other ones you said? Tron. So was the motorcycles in Tron?
Yeah, so we actually designed and built a motorcycle for Tron, and then they ended up abandoning the one we were doing. Oh no, we did the motorcycle thing, but we built a prototype for the actual Tron vehicle, the actual real
right.
Mm-hmm. I think I sent you an image of that. I don't know if you could bring it up.
I know, I'm trying to share my screen and it's stuck.
Really cool. The image is really cool. So, I mean, built an entire working model for that so that we could create the vehicle. That one got abandoned. We don't get to make everything, but we get to at least swing for the fences.
Right. Well, that's so cool. So it's really put your mind to it. So you get somebody describe something. This is very similar to the way that a product is designed. I'm sure somebody's describing something that they want and like certain features, and you have to just create it out of 100%.
100%. Yes, that's exactly how it is. There's not much difference between how you would build a Batmobile to how you would build a product for, like a product, a kid's product, a vehicle product. You need to go through the same process of researching what it is you want to make, and then coming up with a design, an idea of how you want it to look, and then spending time with someone similar to myself, a mechanical engineer who's familiar with manufacturing a product, and go ahead and finalize all of that, create technical drawings and 3D models, and then share that with a manufacturing partner that is familiar with those manufacturing methods so they can actually create the product that you're imagining. And right. At the end of the day, I'm essentially, my role is to be the bridge between the idea you have and getting that final product to your doorstep.
So exciting. So I know that partners that we have at IdeaPros, they're sitting down with you, they're brainstorming, they're getting their CAD files created, yep. Right? And so then that tells the manufacturer exactly what specs, and that way they can quote the product back to you. Is that the right process?
Yes. Okay. In a nutshell, that's the process. I mean, we take the ideas and sketches and photos from the partners, and we use that to create a 3D model. And then from that 3D model, we can create technical drawings that we can share with these manufacturing facilities. They can then get us a functional prototype. And then upon the approval of those prototypes, we go ahead and make products. And then we just, make and sell thousands and thousands of those products. And at that point, it becomes a business. And then, you're ordering more, and
and hopefully onto your V2 version or additional products. So you're not just a one product, one hit wonder from your product standpoint. So, exactly. So exciting. So if you guys have questions about this process, the design process, put them in the chat. We're going to try to answer questions here in a couple of minutes. But if you've got anything quick that I can run by Wes while we're on the live. Oh, I like this. Yeah. So we have a couple questions, but I wanted to ask you one more thing on, I know we talk about patents. You guys have seen Fred's shows. He's very tricky about which things he decides to patent, but I know there's a lot that comes together with an IP, the intellectual property of an item. So you definitely want to, there's certain circumstances, obviously we'll have a whole show as far as the patent's concerned. But in some cases, it's just you're working on it with another company and you get to be on the patent because you're designing it, right?
Yes. And so oftentimes, if you're an inventor and you've got an idea, and then you're working with a product engineer, a mechanical engineer, someone like myself, and that person contributes to that idea. Say, for example, you want to make a cup holder, and then someone like myself comes along and says, hey, why don't we add a square here and a circle there and put some lights and make it vibrate? Well, when that addition is added, then that makes the person that added that addition someone that needs to be listed on that patent. But what's important is to also get that person, if it's me or anyone else, to actually sign off and relinquish their rights, so that you, as the original person with the idea, has the rights to it. So that whoever you're paying to help create your idea, it's important that they're listed on the patent, so that you can't have legal liability.
There's nothing back. Right? It doesn't come back to bite you later.
Yes, it's important to list that person, but it's also very important to make sure that that person that created that contribution also signs off their rights to that patent, so that the patent is wholly yours and they're not going to come try and, do anything unsavory.
Crazy. So many patents. Now, I'm a little bit of a nerd on this because my dad actually he's a mechanical engineer too, kind of, I would say more towards the robotic side than anything else. But I've heard him talk about the patents that he's on too. So I love to hear about that. So sorry if I hijacked the show, guys. I will ask your questions, I promise. So we have, someone's actually asking what the best product was. I know you said you don't have the list in front of you, so that one might be a little hard to answer right now. As far as like, of the ones that you've designed, is there any that stand out?
Oh man, you know what the best one was? It's one that never got made, which was heartbreaking. It was a fast food container project where on top of your cup, what you could place like the burger box, and it clicked into the top of the cup, and then it had a sauce tray. We've all gotten a little fast food from time to time. I said, man, we've really come up with something brilliant here. This is fantastic. Like, I can't wait to start getting this, so that I have a place for everything when I'm driving around and get some food. I'm in a hurry. And, for whatever reason, that didn't quite work out for inventors. But I genuinely think that if they had, if they had pursued it well, they could have knocked it out of the park. That was one of my favorites.
Well, I think there is a lot that goes into, it's not just about the design. You can have a great, amazing idea, you can have an amazing design, but you have to build the business, and in throughout that process, you're really checking with the audience to make sure that that's a good fit, or maybe even, is it too expensive for it to be implemented? Maybe it was too costly for fast food places. They're like, no, I want to pay a penny per, per product wrap. And so you're always looking at all these different factors. That's a lot of what we do at IdeaPros, is looking at market research and customer surveys and making sure we're on track all the time.
Yes, and that's so critical. We like to say that you can patent anything and you can come up with any idea you want, but until you actually market and sell that idea, it is not worth it's worthless until you can actually generate sales and get people to buy the product that you're making and that you want to share with the world. So a lot of it comes down to, at the very end, is execution on sharing it with everyone in the world.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of grit that you have to be willing to go out there and start marketing that product once you have it in hand, and you have to do the marketing for it and really, networking and all the connections. And if you're just going to give up and then say, I guess that's a lot of money to put into design and everything up until that point. So I think there's a huge amount of commitment to your idea. And I know that that's, most inventors, most innovators and product developers are that's where they want to be. They have a clear vision on their mission. So they've got that GPS plugged in and they're going to go for it. So I know we have some really, really dedicated people on our lives every single week because they are so committed to their designs. And you mentioned some things like, adding lights and like cool features. Sometimes along the way, you'll find like this is a huge value add benefit for us to put this one little thing, a light in this one spot. It's going to make the product, very unique or something like that. So sometimes you go to prototype and then you have to, so you think you're almost ready, but then you go back a little ways to add some new features, right?
Yep. Add or remove.
Add or remove.
You have to take them away. But
and that would be more like, is it possible because you're creating something in your head and then you have to go to the manufacturer, and have to make sure that it's actually going to be able to be made without.
So really, that's where someone like me comes in and says, hey, you've got a great idea. This is really fun. I enjoy your energy, but some of these aspects of whatever your idea aren't physically possible, aren't manufacturable at the cost that you'd like to sell your item for,
Right.
If you're selling a coffee cup and you want to have all these crazy things and you want, by the time you add all the features up, you might have to have a retail price point of, $150, and then nobody's going to buy the coffee cup.
Well, I don't know. If it comes and delivers coffee for me, I might buy it. No, just kidding. It's a little bit of a drone cup, but I think you made a really, really good point. And that's that, again, you're looking at the market to see if it can sustain this, if it's possible. And then sometimes you have to remove features to be able to do it. And sometimes your idea is ahead of its time. Your idea might involve, I know we have a couple that maybe there's electronics and it goes in the water, and then there's all these complex things that you start to add onto it. So you have to go with maybe a minimum viable product sometimes. So an MVP.
That's really the best place to start. Make something that works close enough to what your idea is, and then see if we can get that manufactured. And then from there, it's really about, grinding and getting everyone to see it, to enjoy it. As an inventor, you need a good support system. You need the people around you to support you and to encourage you as well. I know my wife supported me massively, especially when we started our product business, because that work gets done after you leave your real job. And that work happens late at night. That work happens with the support of, your wife, your brother, your family, because they give you the encouragement to keep working at it. Because most people don't have enough extra money to just pay someone to do everything. And even when they do, there's still work that you have to do as the inventor, as the person who's taken ownership of this idea. And so without a solid support system, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot harder. So
absolutely.
I'm grateful for having that in my life. And I think everyone with an idea should definitely pick someone close to them that they can talk to about their idea and give them advice and keep encouraging them in the right direction, because that's just so critical to finding great success.
Absolutely. And it's not a short process. Like this, developing a product. I mean, yes, you built a Batmobile in 4 months. I mean, clearly you can make these kinds of things happen. But when you're working through a product and making that back and forth, I mean, how long do you think on average that process, that back and forth might take in general? I mean, we're like creating an average of all the products that you've worked with in the past.
Honestly, it takes anywhere from 3 to 8 weeks to get a quote back from a factory. And
Oh,
during that time, there's a back and forth conversation. And that's just to get the quote. Before then, you're actually doing the engineering and research, which could take anywhere from 3 weeks to 2 months, just to get that portion done. So really, I mean, it seems like a fast-paced thing that you can get done when you watch Shark Tank or something like that.
I know, they make it look so easy, don't they?
You just walk in, and then Mark Cuban says, "Hey, I'll give you $1 million." He's like, "Great, I'm rich." That doesn't really happen. That's not how it really works. It's a process, and you got to work through it. But when you make it all the way through on the other side, you can really be proud of what you've done and really excited about this new future that you've built for yourself.
Absolutely. Well, such good information. I hope you guys let us know in the chat if you're enjoying this. I know we have a lot of people are commenting, and I have Shelly. She's like, the Batmobile. That's impressive, Wes. Shelly is one of our partners, and she's creating some really cool stuff. And I'm definitely not going to give that away, but I'm sure that Wes will have his eyeballs on it too. So
I'm working on it today.
Yay! So exciting, big things. And one of the questions, let's see, I just saw it. Let's see. Anybody that can build and design it? Okay. So yes, absolutely. You have a very revolutionary product, Eclipse. I think Eclipse is great. To design and build, apparently could have built half a dozen Batmobiles by now. You're so funny. It takes time.
It's been a long time. I probably could have built like a couple hundred Batmobiles by now.
There's a lot of things that go into a product, and especially when you have a product that's consumer based. So I know that's a big thing. You have a lot of regulations and all that stuff.
Eclipse is a great product, by the way. I've done a lot of vehicles as well. There's a lot of rules regarding vehicles. It's surprisingly difficult to make vehicles look interesting because there's a lot of rules about where the lights are, tail lights and headlights, how high they are, how big the bumpers can be, how big the windshields can be. So really, when you look at a lot of products, cars are a good example. They are actually all fairly similar, and it takes a good designer to make them look unique and different, considering all the government constraints we have with the Eclipse product as well. That one, I can't talk about it specifically, but I can say that he's doing a great job of making safer and better products that we put on our skin. So
absolutely
fantastic.
And that you have to be patient and wait for those kinds of things because they have to be the right, releasing too soon or the wrong thing is not always the best for your product for sure.
You get it right. When I was working on Fast and the Furious, I was also going home and staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning, trying to grind out my first patent, which was hard, and then you got to wake up at 6 a.m. again and get back to your regular job. And there's a lot of grind that goes into succeeding as a product and as an idea. So I think
once you have it, that's only a portion of what you're going to be doing, right? So you've got your product, now it's manufacturable, then you get your quote, and now you have to, build enough interest. The marketing has to get in there so that you can get your product manufactured, depending on your numbers, so there's a lot to the journey. If you guys have any questions, I know we have a lot of people who've been on our shows before, but if you're new to IdeaPros, we do have on our website, which is actually right on the cusp of being redesigned anyway. We're finishing up the final touches on it, but we do have a checklist that's really helpful. It talks about all these processes. So you can go over to ideapros.com/blog. Actually, just go to ideapros.com and click on the checklist button to get your a copy of that. And it breaks down all of the process, every little phase along the way for sure. So thank you so much, Wes. I appreciate it. I know I'm holding you a little bit late and you've got busy work to do on getting some of these products from a napkin over to a real live product. So thank you for being live with us.
It's been fantastic. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to let you go and I'll say a couple last things to our audience. So thank you. We'll talk to you again soon, Wes. We'll have you on for some more topics for sure.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I do want to give a shout out, Bill. I do see you over there at Goliath at High Rise Sports Chair. Definitely check it out. This is a product that's come to they have it on the website, so you can buy. Bill's awesome, and he's been through definitely the ups and downs that go through when you're creating products. So check him out. And then I don't see any, well, obviously Shelly, congratulations, because I know yours is coming together. Thank you all so much for being here. I know we're over on YouTube, we're here on Facebook. Hit the bell so that you can get notifications when we go live. We're here every Friday at noon Pacific time. Fred will be back, knock on wood, next weekend. I'm going to bug him until we get him back. So if there is a topic that you guys think you want to have us cover, please, inside the post, there's a link and you can actually submit a question. We build these shows around what you guys need most. If there's something that you want help with, if that's marketing, I mean, there's so many things that go into this process, patents and all of it, design, all the way to, how to get your client base created, beta testing. I know we have a couple people. Sean Reed, I saw your comment actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Oh my gosh, Daniel, I missed your question. That was a good one. We'll have to ask him that next time. At what point does the engineer relinquish the right to their product? Oh, good question. I will see if we can get that one answered for you in the after conversation in the chat if you have additional questions. And Sean, where are you? Okay, yeah. So Sage is starting to beta test in 40 days. So 17 years developing Sage, 10,000 hours designing Sage. So Sean is doing an amazing job. He is committed. He is going to make this app get to the market, and the beta testing starts soon. If you're interested in being a beta tester, please let us know in the chat and we'll make sure we get you in touch with Sage. So thank you. Sean, if you want to put your website in, because it is live, you can put your website in. You guys can actually sign up to get on the beta on the website. So thank you guys all so much. Hey, Katie, sorry, I missed your text. So we'll see you guys next week. Have a blessed week. Bye.